Bonjour, Mishko Pognon, Queen Dishnakas Mangdodem. Hi, everybody. My name is Sandy Boucher. I'm Red Thunderbolt Woman of the Loon Clan, a proud member of Seine River First Nation in Northern Ontario, and I'm here today with yet another episode of Surviving Isolation. And if I seem a little bit excited, you're not wrong. I have some amazing stuff to share with you today. But first, let's do the details. I got my handy dandy index cards here. We are on episode 27. This is the September 18th version. I don't know when you're going to be watching this, but welcome back to the show. Once again, this episode does have a theme. Today, we're going to be talking about the path out. Whether it's past whatever challenge you're dealing with, the path out of this pandemic, the path through that challenge or that disagreement you're having with someone, whatever it is, I'm going to share with you what I call the 4 sacred tools. And I've referenced them in my last book. They are just tools that I believe work. No matter what the situation is, no matter what the conflict or challenge is. And I just wanted to share those with you because I believe if we can remember to hang on to them and use them, well, then we can survive anything, including isolation and a global pandemic. Now, before I say anything else, I do want to welcome you back to my home office. If you're watching this on Shaw, thank you so much for checking out my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. You could share it as well. That would be awesome. And if you're watching this on Shaw's Spotlight, miigwech for letting me back into your home once again. I am thrilled to be able to connect with you again. Serious part of the show now, mental health check-in. How are you doing? The kids are going back to school now. You're okay? What's your stress levels like? I know in some areas in the country, the numbers are rising again. I wonder how often are you checking in on those numbers? I used to check daily. I don't do that anymore for the sake of my mental health. What kind of self-care routines have you put in place? And I hope you've put in some. And if you haven't, start thinking about that. You need to take care of you. This is the idea. If you've ever been on an airplane, they tell you in case of emergency, you put your mask on first before you can help someone else, because otherwise you're going to die in the process. That's exactly what this is. Self-care. Take care of yourself so you can take care of your loved ones. If you're running on empty, they're going to end up having to take care of you. So just please, please, please keep that in mind. Before I jump into the sharing for today, we need to talk about the statistics, and that's part of my exciting news. Okay, first, trying to contain my excitement, which is not easy, let me tell you. It was March 11th when the World Health Organization officially declared the pandemic. As of September 18th, that is 190 days ago. 190 days ago, and we're still not back. The masks are still on. We're still social distancing. So that statistic I'm going to keep running with until we get a little bit closer to normal. But, and here's where my exciting news is, March 13th was my last live event. Now, it happened in Dryden. Shout out to anyone in Dryden if you're watching this. Now, as a motivational speaker, I used to make my entire income stream, all of my revenue was based on live events. And that's on purpose. I love live events. I love being in a room and meeting new people and hearing their stories and helping them to realize their strengths and their gifts. And it brings me so much joy to help people realize just how amazing they are. Well, truth be told, I am actually recording this video a day early because I have a live event to do this afternoon. I'm actually doing a full day event on Friday, the day that this is going to be released. I went 186 days without doing what I love. 186 days. Now, I did that willingly. I want to be crystal clear on this. I did that to protect my loved ones, whether it was my family or my participants, the people I care about. If I'm out there, how could I be a good motivational speaker if I didn't genuinely care about the people I work with? That would make me, I'd be a facade. It would be totally fake. And if anyone knows anything about me, authenticity is everything to me. This is me. This is the me you would have coffee with. This is the me on stage. This is me. I don't have the energy or the time to pretend to be something I'm not. So this is me. But 186 days I went without that connection, that learning from my participants, and their helping them to see just how much wisdom they carry, how much life experience. And I don't care, a youth event, same thing, they carry so much wisdom. So it has been a long 186 days, but I am living proof again, and I know you are too, that the darkest night eventually does end. And we've all had those dark nights, whether a relationship ended or someone, a loved one passed on. There's that incredibly dark period. But eventually the sun does shine again. And for me, it's shining pretty bright this week. Now, before anyone gets concerned, we are being incredibly safe. There is only 10 people at this event, including me. Large venue. The desks are 2 meters apart. We have masks on except for when we're sitting down. Hand sanitizer there. Social distancing obviously in place. So we're taking all of the precautions. So don't worry. My participants and myself are going to be safe. But I am thrilled to be doing this event. That for me, the sun is shining once again. Which brings me to today's topic. So I told you I'm talking about the path, finding your way past a challenge or through a difficult period of time or back to someone if you've had a disagreement with them. And as I mentioned, I believe there are 4 sacred tools, and if we could just remember to use them on a regular basis, I think we'd be reconciling with our past, our futures, our neighbors, our loved ones so much faster. So I made it super easy for you. If you think of the word path, P-A-T-H, each letter of that word stands for one of the 4 sacred tools. I made it super duper easy for you to remember, because if you don't remember, how are you going to use them? That just makes 0 sense to me. P, patience. Give yourself time. I can think of so many examples where whatever challenge we're trying to deal with has been brewing and building for days, weeks, months, and even years and generations in some case. And I know what it's like to be impatient. I am definitely not known for my patience. But I've really gotten good at recognizing what I do control and what I don't. And when I'm working with another person, whether we're working through a challenge together or that other person is the challenge, I don't control that. I don't control other people. I only control me, and that requires patience. If I can take a step in the right direction today, well, then that's worth celebrating. And maybe it's not resolved yet, but maybe we talked. Maybe we actually said hello to each other, or maybe I'm starting to feel a little bit better, like that darkness is finally going away. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying ignore it. I'm definitely not saying put it on a shelf. You have to be working on these things, but be patient. Anything worth having takes time. So Just be patient and trust in the process. Trust that whatever it is, as long as you're taking a step forward, you're going to get there. My mom used to say, even the smallest of baby steps will eventually get you across the room. And some days, all we can physically handle or emotionally, mentally, spiritually handle is a baby step. And some days, we can't even do that. And some days, we might even take a step backward. And that's okay. It doesn't undo the whole process. We just have to be patient and keep going. So patience is the first, only one, of the 4 sacred tools. Be patient. The second sacred tool, awareness. Be aware of what's going on around you, especially, and here's the disclaimer or the quote, the clause that really is important to remember. Be aware of what's going on around you, especially for those not like you. This one always reminds me of when my children were teenagers. I knew what I wanted them to do and I knew what I expected them to do, but I had to be aware of what was going on in their world. Anyone who is able to remember back to high school, that was not an easy time. And maybe you were a jock, and maybe you were a cheerleader, and maybe to you it was the best time of your life. But the reality was it was emotional, and there were challenges. And if you struggled with friendships or to make friends, maybe it wasn't the easiest time for you. So be aware of what's going on. I do a lot of seminars with staff, the members of a group for an organization or a First Nation community, and maybe they're not getting along so well. And I'm always reminding them, be aware that your coworker has a life, that they have a family at home, a partner at home, and maybe there's a challenge there. Maybe they're struggling financially. Maybe their relationship is rocky. Maybe they're worried about the health of their parents, their own health, their partner, their children. We are these beautiful, multifaceted beings, and all of that shows up for work. All of that shows up at our dinner table. So be aware, if you care enough to want to get along with that other person, if you care enough to want to get through this challenge, be aware of what's going on. The more aware, the more information you have, well, the easier it is going to be for you to get through this challenge. So patience and awareness, and you can add to your awareness every single day. There's a teaching that says if you're still here, that means there's still things for you to learn. Also means you probably have some things you can share with other people and teach them, which is why you're still here. So be aware of that. In our role, I am always conscious, especially when I get to talk to someone or meet someone, that I need to live up to that role. I need to listen and learn from this person Creator sent my way. And I have to do my part and make sure that they benefit from meeting me. Now, wouldn't it be awesome if we always acted that way? That's the idea. 4 sacred tools. Patience, awareness, aware of your role, aware of their challenges, aware of where you are, aware of the circumstances. We've all made that mistake where we tried to talk about something important in a 5-minute span just before you're racing out the door. Be aware that maybe this isn't the best time to talk about it. Even though you want to resolve it, go back to patience. Wait until there's a better time. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Patience, awareness. The T stands for tenacity. And my mom would call that a $15 word, and she'd probably not be impressed that I'm using it, but hey, I needed a word that started with T. Tenacity simply means don't give up. Do not give up. Maybe you have to give up for today. You need to take a break, and I've taken those mental health days. I took a no human day a while ago, that just like a week ago, where I just, you know what, today I just need to recharge. I just need to be by myself. I need some comfort food. I need to just relax, me and my kitty cat. I need to not be dealing with other people. And I did. And it was awesome. And I was able to come back my full, energetic, awesome self the next day. So keep going. Keep taking those baby steps. Be patient. Be aware of what's going on. Take the breaks when you need to, but keep going, because the reality is, what's that saying? If you're going through hell, don't stop. Keep going. You don't want to stay there. You need to get to the end, right? So patience, awareness, tenacity. And then honestly, the one I think so many of us forget, humility. Truth be told, at the end of the day, it's not all about you. It's not all about me. I am one tiny puzzle piece in a gigantic puzzle, and I'm made up of tiny little puzzle pieces. All the experiences and things I've heard and things I've tried and things I've said and done. We are just one piece of the puzzle. And maybe today we're going to move a mountain. And maybe today we're just going to sit and appreciate it. Be humble. Just because someone else has an opinion that you don't agree with it, do you need to argue it? If there's an end game, if you need to defend someone, or you need to educate someone, or you need to make a point and you're mentally in a good place to be able to do that, then feel free. But you don't need to argue with every single post on Facebook. You don't need to read every single post on Facebook. Let's start with that. Humility. Support and encourage the people that matter to you, the ones you love and are concerned and care about, and leave the trolls to live under their bridge. Truth be told, I have all the patience in the world for someone who is patient and trying to understand, who comes at me in a good way, whether they're offering tobacco or just asking a respectful question. But if you come at me like a bulldozer demanding answers, I know how to draw healthy boundaries, and that would be a fence that I would put up pretty quick. No, thank you. When you learn humility, I'll be here to have that discussion with you. So I hope that makes sense to you. Patience, it's not going to be resolved in one day. Awareness, be aware of what's going on. That young mom might be totally stressed. Your teenager might have something going on that you don't even know. Maybe they just broke up with their partner. Who knows? Tenacity. Don't give up. Even if you have to take a break, give yourself permission to do that. But don't give up. This pandemic will end. Don't give up. Don't start making silly decisions. The worst decisions of my life followed the thoughts, what the heck? Why not? Don't go there. Don't do that. It's in the exact same way that I set my goals. And by the way, next week will be the update episode where I give you an update on how I'm doing with the goals I set at the beginning of this pandemic. That's why I set those goals, because I knew this pandemic was going to end, and I didn't want to have to overcome the results of any bad decisions I made because I was stuck inside during the pandemic. So please do the same thing. Keep going. Patience, awareness, tenacity, keep going, but humility. Remember, we're all in this together, and we're all just trying to figure out how to survive isolation. Some days we're on top of the mountain, and some days we're tumbling down the other side. And that's just a whole bunch of humans trying to deal with a situation we've never faced before. Give yourself permission to be human. Give yourself permission to make a mistake or two, to say something goofy. Forgive yourself. Even if someone else gets upset, they have the right to get upset. You don't need to hate them for it, but you don't need to hate yourself either. And be patient with them too. Allow your partner the right to be human. Allow your children the right to be human and have a bad day, because It's a global pandemic. We're going to have some bad days, but we're going to have glorious, amazing days too, like today when I get to do a live event again. Patience, awareness, tenacity, humility. You got this. That is the path out of wherever you don't want to be, or the path to whatever you desire. Patience, awareness, tenacity, humility. Repeat it with me. Patience, awareness, tenacity, humility. If I had any kind of musical ability at all, I'd make that into a little jingle. I don't. If you do, feel free. Go ahead, send it to me. I'd love to hear it. Until next week, take care of you. Be patient. Be aware of what's going on in your mental health. Do not give up. Be tenacious, but always be your beautiful, humble self. Until next week, I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.